Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fiscal Philosophy YouTube channel. I did not think that there was going to be more news on our good old poverty REIT, the Medical Properties Trust, this week. However, something did drop, and it pertains to the last press release that I went over, which had to do with the secure financing that they raised. Everybody was arguing on the Yahoo message boards and even discussing in my Discord, less so arguing, more discussing where these interest rates would fall. My personal take at the time was I thought a range, but somewhere between 6 and 8% is probably where the average would land, because there's obviously multiple financings involved in this 2.5 billion total raise. So I'll get into their announcement on this, and it will provide some clarity. So, Medical Properties Trust today announced the pricing of the private offering of 1.5 billion in principal senior secured notes due 2032, the US dollar notes, and 1 billion euro principal secured notes due 2032. So the big difference already is that they had previously said they were offering 2 billion in USD, 500 million in euro. The euro amount doubled while the USD amount fell by 25%. So it's still 2.5 billion-ish total. Obviously, the values of the currencies are a little different, but we're still roughly 2.5 billion total. It's just they shifted how much of it's in USD versus euro. And this is important because the rates on euro will be lower. All right. And the offering size has been revised, which I just explained. And the USD notes came in at 8.5%, and the Euro notes 7%, which creates a blended coupon of 7.885%. So it fell within my predicted range, though somewhat on the higher end of it. But this is also well below the doomsday 14% predictions put out on Yahoo message boards by a lot of what I think are either just shorts or trolls, whatever. However, also, this comes in a good chunk above a lot of what I thought was delusionally low expectations from a lot of the pumpers, right? They were saying, I think this comes in at sub 5%. I remember seeing. No. So you're not going to get sub 5% secured against MPT's assets in an environment where treasuries in this similar time range, 10 year, 7 year, whatever, are above 4%. In fact, I think above 4.5%, at least in recent days. When that's the situation with rates, for the risk-free rate, you're not going to get a sub 5%, even on a secured note. It just isn't going to happen. Now, I think 7% is pretty attractive. It would have been cool to see them get 6.5 on some of this, but it's not as bad as what the worst of the worst were saying it would be, and it fell within my guesstimate range, which was purely just based on the fact that I thought pumpers were being way too optimistic, and the fudsters were just being really over dramatic and acting like these assets are suddenly super super toxic and nobody would want any of this, and that they were going to get basically junk bond rates for secured financing, which that's just not reasonable. So this fell, I think, in a pretty reasonable place, lifts some uncertainty. I would actually personally put this in the bullish category, because obviously this is a lot of cash and it pushes out a lot of their maturities out to 2032. And this tells us, hey, they have, like, this is how they're choosing to deal with the debt wall that is right in front of them. However, there's still, I'm sure, a good amount that will be due after this. That, hey, maybe rates at some point in the future are lower. Maybe the improved liquidity from this will help with their credit rating, and they can get a more favorable term on some of the 2026 debt. We'll see. But for now, I think this shows that a lot of the hyperbole on both sides was not warranted, and as usual, the facts end up falling somewhere in a reasonable range, somewhere in between. Be sure to let me know down below if these rates on this secured financing fell anywhere near your expectations, what your expectations actually were, and if you feel like this is more of a positive or a negative regarding where it landed. Also, my Discord is, of course, linked in the description. You can catch me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Cashflow Kings Live. Follow my X account at Mr. Macho Mog. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.